For the very first time, Nandi snapped. Her voice trembled with anger as she spat out words she never thought she'd dare. Murphy, this time you've gone too far. Why, Ellen? I warned you about my cousin. Didn't I? Look what you've got yourself into. She is a kid. Nandi said, getting really upset. She is an opportunist, a girl who will do anything to get ahead in life. See, I warned you. Nandi looked angry and confused. The name, Murphy, hung heavy in the air. Never had she called the diplomat by his name. Never. But this was different. This was trouble. Real trouble. Nandi had always known his rhythm. The diplomat was predictable, even in his weakness. A glance here, a laugh there, then the secret look for her when he wanted more. She had managed his desires like one manages fire, never letting it burn out of control, never letting it burn her. But lately, something had changed. She noticed it in the garden first. He no longer lingered over her stories or sought her out with questions about the neighbors. Instead, his eyes drifted toward the staff quarters when he thought no one was watching. His Saturday chats were shorter. His laughter, once easy in her company, was quieter now, as though reserved for someone else. And then, one evening, Nandi saw it with her own eyes. She was returning from the market when she spotted them near the gate, half hidden by the flowering shrubs. Ellen was standing too close, her head tilted up, her hand grazing his arm as though she had every right to touch him. The diplomat wasn't pulling away. In fact, he was leaning in, his body betraying what his words dare. Nandi waited until the house was quiet. Sophia had retreated upstairs, and the diplomat was still at his desk, lost in papers he pretended to read. In the staff quarters, the air was thick, heavy with silence broken only by the buzz of night insects. Ellen was brushing out her hair by the mirror when Nandi spoke. You think you're clever. Ellen's hand stilled for a moment, then she resumed her strokes, unbothered. I don't know what you mean. Don't play with me, Nandi snapped, stepping closer. I see how you look at him. I see how he looks at you. You forget, Ellen, I know that man better than anyone. Ellen set the brush down slowly, turning to face her cousin. Her smile was small, dangerous. Maybe that is the problem, Nandi. You know him, too well. Like an old book everyone has read. But me? She tilted her head, her eyes gleaming. I am the new chapter. The words struck harder than any slap. Nandi's voice dropped, sharp as glass. Careful, Ellen. You don't know the fire you're playing with. That man, he is not a gift. He is a trap. He will take what he wants, and when it burns, it will be you left with the ashes. But Ellen only laughed, soft and mocking. Ashes can be blown away, diamonds stay. She leaned closer, her whisper cutting through the night. Maybe you should ask yourself, cousin, are you afraid for me, or afraid of losing him? The silence that followed was thick with unspoken threat. For the first time, Nandi realized Ellen wasn't just a girl looking for help with school fees. She was a rival, and a ruthless one at that. And from the glint in Ellen's eyes, Nandi knew the real battle had only just begun. The shift came quickly. At first, the diplomat thought nothing of it, the small coldness in Nandi's eyes when she handed him his morning coffee, the clipped tone in her answers when he asked about the household. He assumed it was fatigue, or perhaps Sophia's temper rubbing off on her. But then there was Ellen. Always there. Always finding reasons to pass through the study, to linger in the hallways, to brush her hand accidentally against his. The contrast was too stark to ignore, Nandi's distance and Ellen's warmth. One pulling away, the other pulling closer. One evening, as he prepared to leave for a formal dinner, the clash surfaced. He stepped into the garden, adjusting his cufflinks, when he saw them, Nandi and Ellen, standing on opposite sides of the path. The tension between them was sharp enough to cut the air. Nandi, he said lightly, have you finished the flower beds? Yes, sir, she answered, her voice polite but edged. Her eyes flicked to Ellen, then back to him. Ellen smiled, stepping forward before Nandi could retreat. You look very handsome tonight, she said boldly, her accent curling over the words. Your wife is lucky. Nandi stiffened. The diplomat chuckled awkwardly, tugging at his sleeve. Thank you, Ellen. But then Ellen did something dangerous, something deliberate. She reached out, smoothing an invisible crease on his jacket. The touch was soft, lingering, intimate in a way no servant's hand should ever be. Nandi's breath caught audibly. The diplomat glanced at her, half guilty, half thrilled by the boldness of Ellen's gesture. He saw the anger in Nandi's eyes and, for the first time, understood, this was not just flirtation. This was rivalry. And he was at the center of it. That night, as the car pulled away to take him to the dinner, the diplomat stared out the window, heart racing. Ellen's touch still burned on his chest. Nandi's glare still haunted him. He should have been worried. He should have seen the storm gathering inside his own house. But instead, he smiled to himself, because for the first time in years, the diplomat felt alive. Sophia chose her moment carefully. The next afternoon, she sent Nandi to the market and dismissed the gardener early. The house was quiet, the walls echoing with stillness. Ellen was in the sitting room, folding linen, an odd chore she'd taken upon herself, as though trying to look useful. Sophia entered without a word. She closed the door behind her and stood watching, arms folded, her gaze cold and deliberate. Ellen looked up, startled, then lowered her eyes quickly, as if to hide her guilt. You enjoy serving my husband, Sophia said, her accent thick but her meaning sharp. Ellen froze, then forced a smile. No, madam. I only help. He is kind man. Sophia took a step closer, her silk slippers whispering against the floor. Kind, she repeated slowly, tasting the word. Kind, to you? Ellen's throat bobbed as she swallowed. I respect him. That is all. Sophia let out a short, humorless laugh. Respect? She tilted her head, eyes narrowing. You think I do not see? The eyes. The smile. The touch. Ellen's mask slipped then. For a moment, defiance flashed across her face. Maybe you do not know him as well as you think, she said softly, a boldness creeping into her voice. The words struck like a slap. Sophia's hand twitched at her side, but she didn't raise it. Instead, she leaned forward, her whisper colder than any shout, You are a child. A hungry child. My husband is a man who will eat you and spit you out. But me, she pointed a finger to her chest, eyes blazing, I am his wife. And I will end you before I let you shame me. Ellen's lips parted, her bravado faltering for the first time. The silence between them was heavy, electric. Finally, Sophia straightened, smoothing her robe with icy calm. Stay away. Or you will regret the day you ever entered this house. With that, she turned and left, her footsteps echoing like a warning bell. Ellen stood frozen, linen trembling in her hands. Fear prickled her skin, but beneath it, another feeling stirred, something sharper. A challenge. And for the first time Ellen thought, let her come. I am not afraid of the diplomat's wife. The night air was thick, heavy with tension. Ellen's laughter had been too loud, her closeness to the diplomat too bold. Nandi snapped, her anger breaking through at last. Ellen grabbed her wrist, her voice urgent, slipping into pidgin English as her mask of poise cracked. Sister, why now? What'n day happen? Why you want spoil my show now? Let me chop am, if you no want chop am. Her eyes were wide, desperate. She wasn't playing seductress now, she was begging. Nandi yanked her hand free, her voice low and furious. Are you mad? Is something wrong with you? Just listen to the nonsense way they come it from your mouth. Can you hear yourself? It's my job to look after you, this is my house. That's exactly what I'm doing, little sister. Ellen's face twisted with defiance, but before she could answer, Nandi's eyes flicked past her, toward the flower beds. There. Sophia, half hidden in the shadows, her pale robe glimmering in the moonlight. She stood perfectly still, watching. Listening. Nandi's heart thudded hard in her chest. She knew what this meant. 2 maids had been dismissed only last month, without warning, without mercy. She had been warned. Coco had pulled her aside in the kitchen, whispering with urgency. "Tell your cousin to be careful, Nandi. I don't want you to lose your job because of her." Now, that warning rang in her ears like a curse. Ellen was reckless, blind to danger, and the diplomat, oblivious, flattered, puffing on his cigar, had no idea that his wife was watching everything. Nandi's mind raced. She had to think fast. She couldn't let Sophia see her as part of Ellen's game. Not when her survival depended on staying one step ahead. So she turned on Ellen harder, her anger now a performance as much as truth. "You disgrace me with this talk, Ellen," she hissed, loud enough for Sophia to hear. "You no fit enter my house and destroy what I day build. Respect yourself, or leave tomorrow morning. I go no longer cover you." Ellen flinched, hurt and confused by the venom in her cousin's words. She didn't see the calculation in Nandi's eyes. But Sophia did. From behind the flowers, Sophia's lips curved into the faintest smile. She had heard enough. She had seen how Nandi had chosen survival over loyalty. And for the first time, the diplomat's wife began to wonder, perhaps Nandi could be useful after all. To be continued in part 2. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.